Well, hey, Cancer, it's Cardinal Signs Week, and here I am, your metal dog, ready to do a reading for you. So the question that came into my mind, maybe because we're in Gemini season and the card of the lovers, is I wanted to know something about a relationship in your life or a person in your life. And so I have a little reading for you on this question. All right, Cancer? So let's see what happens. You're the first one I've done this way. So I'm going to first pull a card to get an overall sense of someone in your life or a relationship in your life. Let's see. So Muse Tarot says the Hanged Muse. Yeah, and I had this feeling that is actually might be someone yet to come into your life, or someone that you're waiting for, that you're connecting to, maybe psychically. Like this Hanged Muse, we see, and the Hanged Man is the card that this is after, is a state of waiting until you see things from a different perspective. That's why you hang upside down. So we can see there is insight here, and the sun, authenticity here as well. So let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. The Chariot, that is your card. You could even be the person in your life that suggests to me like a new you in a way. Returning or recovering from a Three of Voices, Three of Swords, very painful as you can see. Broken heart, betrayal. Yeah, and you can see this energy coming down into her that is coming out of you, the Chariot, or into you. Or perhaps this is what has given you a new perspective. Okay, interesting. We shall see. So I've got the deck I always associate with you, Cancerians, and that is a good tarot. And I'm going to pull 5 cards. So this other person, how they appear in your life. How you appear to them. Your relationship. What's hidden from you that the tarot wants you to know. I guess I have 6 cards. Some advice for you and the future. I mean, you have to know the future, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see. So 6 cards. Okay. First of all, we're going to pull a card for how this other person is appearing in your life. And the card the good tarot gives us is an Ace of Earth. This is somebody who is coming in with a real offer. It's stable. It's not just talk. It's a legitimate offer. The Ace of Earth. Okay. They're new. It could be related to a new place that you've moved, a new job, something in your 3D world. But they're appearing as a part of a new beginning in a cycle of Earth. How you appear to them. You appear, wow, magical. Ace of Fire, action, communication. Very magical how you appear to them. Riding in on your panda bear. After a journey, we've learned something. Very magical. You've gone to almost like the other place. You know, the place that you can go to in meditation or journeying, shamanic journeying, maybe. Or just whatever you've gone through on your journey, it feels like you're coming into this other person's life with all this action, all this passion, all this energy and creativity and imagination and magic. Whereas they appear to you as this very stable, new beginning. Your relationship we have here is a Four of Earth. This deck is so beautiful. The Four of Earth usually is about control, maybe a limited view of the world because you have 4 and you're clinging to it. There's still a quality of magic. And we know when we look at a Four of Pentacles that this is early days. It's a new beginning. And it may be that somebody's fear of security issues is coming up here and limiting your relationship in some way. So what the tarot wants you to know is King of Earth. To me, this says everything's security lies here. This is the most secure and boringly secure, safe, abundant, rich, kind presence, this Ace of Earth. I feel like that's what the tarot wants you to know. So if you've just come in from a crazy journey and you're meeting this person who seems like a new person to me in your life, we know that you've been through some fear. We know that there is a change of perspective that's possible here. It's almost as if you are changed from your journey. And this is definitely how you come in, like this, like magical, like this Cancerian cardinal beginning with all the wild horses, all the momentum, fire in that card there. But also that whatever's happened to you, you've been through some pain. And so we understand why you might be limiting and controlling in your relationship. But what the tarot wants you to know is that this Ace of Earth, this person that appears like this, they are all that they say they are. You can see he's got the antlers. And some advice for you. King of Air. This is your mind, your intellect. These are the swords. It makes us think of the swords here. The voices are swords. The suit of air. It says you've learned something on your journey, and remember that and come from that. And I think of the King of Air as a very deep person who has used their mind, and they have mastered their mind in a way. And the way that I see this mastery is like with a kind of depth that I associate with the heart. Because air is blood. It's the suit of blood. And it runs through the heart. And sometimes in this postmodern world, we can sever the connection between mind and heart, and that this advice here is to learn what the King of Air has learned and practice what you have learned through your heartbreak, which is not to cut off your heart and to become controlling, but instead to reconnect mind and heart. And that this Three of Voices, this anguish, comes from obsession in the mind that has to do with a disconnection between heart and mind. And the future is a change of fortune. Again, as we find out in the Hanged Muse, there is a divine force at work here that you're waiting on. Wheel of Fortune signals that ahead in this relationship there will be change, should you take this advice. And the fortune's wheel will turn in your favor, usually. I always interpret it that way. So, on the bottom of the deck, 2 cards. More indication of waiting. So there's a Queen of Air. She has clarity and intelligence enough to know who's in, but I do feel like maybe you've been practicing a little bit of one of her bad habits, which is cutting people out. This is this kind of energy of control. If you're too controlling, then you lose people. You cut people out too soon, maybe. And so that's why we get Temperance with a card of patience, which is telling you again, wait on divine timing. You're in patience. What you're waiting for is for your emotions to come into balance, and a process of alchemizing. And that's why it takes patience. Hangman, patience, Fortune's wheel. You are being supported divinely, but it's also taking time. here. Okay, so one thing that I'm finding as I do this reading is like, I'm not very interested in this Ace of Earth. And maybe that's your feeling. Like, they're a new person, they're offering something real, they are the King of Earth. Um, but you have something so powerful going on that's kind of being triggered by this encounter with this other. And it doesn't have a lot to do with them. Like, there aren't a lot of cups, there's not a lot of love, there's not threes of pentacles or cups, friendship, or working together. So I actually feel like this person may be just a trigger on your own journey. You are, on the other hand, to them, you're a really incredible and magical and passionate. You are, and this is a part of what I think draws them to you. Even though it feels to me that you are not yet open to this person, that you are still in a process of being changed by this hurt that you experienced. Yeah, so that's my reading of that here. So let's clarify. I've got the Modern Witch Tarot here. Nice little queer deck. Queer intersectional deck, as you will see. All right, so let's find out more about this Ace of Earth who's come into your life. All right, there's a Nine of Pentacles as somebody in solitude working on their little kingdom, the Empress in waiting. I feel like that's you doing your solitary life. And, you know, the Nine of Pentacles, you can see she has the raptor on her head. This is the falcon of truth. And the Nine of Pentacles is very self-sufficient. She looks to her own truth. She's not really needing anybody else. Neither does the Empress. So then we see death. Okay, so that is something is transforming dramatically by the entrance of this Ace of Earth. So perhaps this time of solitude is alone, of being alone is over. And yes, there is a Six of Cups here. This Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Earth, is a soul connection, past life encounters. It can also be a part of yourself, the inner child that you can encounter here if that resonates. But what I see here is that when this Ace of Earth comes into your life, you've been very happily alone, and then this is changed. And that is because this is a true soul connection. Soulmates are signaled by the Six of Cups. Lots of heart. It is a generosity and an authenticity between the figures in the Six of Cups. And that is symbolized by the gift of the cup full of usually white flowers. This is a cup full of magic being offered from one to another. It's very often to children, but because this deck has its own art, and this may be helpful to you. This is a young person and an older person, so there's an age difference here in this Ace of Earth and you. Okay. All right, Cancer. So you're appearing to them as the Eight of Fire, this magical person. That makes sense to me. There is this offer of magic between these two people. So let's see. Let's see more about how you are affecting and appearing to them. King of Swords. All right, so that's this king. Who's also your advice here. Can be somebody who's maybe very intellectual, decisive, cold. I see the butterflies. I see, again, this sort of transformative power of you. And this King of Swords, she holds the truth, the sword of truth, here on her throne. All the characters in this deck are women. We're non-binary people. So they hold the sword of truth here. They're standing on red. Red is a color of willpower, fire. but also of the heart. So that is definitely more indication of the connection between truth, that she's standing on this red, the earth, grounded in love. Okay? I don't think I have made up this King of Swords meaning. I just think it's really important to me to emphasize the mind-heart connection as the achievement of the mastery that is signified by someone having reached the level of king. Here is more fire and more passion. It seems to be you, the Knight of Wands. This is how you are appearing to this person. Oh, they identify as the King of Air. Okay? So this is your advice. It's also how this person, this is appearing to you in your life. Or they relate to the King of Swords. They see you as this Knight of Wands, passionate, fast, creative, really inspiring, and really difficult to get to into a commitment. And there's an Eight of Swords. This is a perspective of being trapped when you're not. It's very different from this energy and from this energy. Okay. So you appear like this Knight of Wands. I do feel that the Eight of Swords is your energy, that you are trapped in your mind because you've been of this loss. And so you go right up in there and you're appearing like this sexy Knight of Wands, this Eight of Fire. But what you're actually feeling and experiencing is feeling trapped. I mean, you've met this soulmate. They're transforming you. They're dragging you out of your Knight of Pentacles solitude, but you're not able to get out of your head about this here. And so this is why we end up in your relationship with this person with a lot of you exerting control in ways that really are limiting your life. And this is another image of limiting your life because of your mind. You can't lose these stories that say you're trapped. And so you can see she's standing on blue, which is the color of authenticity, but it also makes me think of the suit of water, of emotion. So like this is, remember I told you the Three of Swords is sorrow, an obsession that comes from your mind not letting you forget this grief, this emotional loss here, which is a legitimate emotional loss. It's not imaginary, but you can get trapped there, Cancer. Okay, so your relationship is this Four of Earth. And I'm really noticing how she is cupping her hands, right? And it feels like she's holding something. It looks like she's holding something in her hands. It's hard for me to see what that is, but I think it's important. Maybe you can see it on the camera if I hold this card up here. There's something in her hands, or maybe you know what it is. It's like, I feel like, even though I can't clearly see it, it's a heart. I feel like she's holding her heart in her hands, and that this is you protecting your heart from further pain, and that your mind is telling you, hold on to your heart, baby, with this person, because they're death to your solitude, your Nine of Pentacles. They're a soul connection, and you're trapped in your mind. And they're very, very attracted to you and interested in you. And okay, so what do we have here? There's your King of Pentacles. This is what the tarot wants you to know, right? It's the same fella here. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about here around this person. Like, this person is solid. There is some moon energy. This could be secrecy, the unknown. This could be why you're feeling controlling. It's the moon journey too, of going down into your depths, exploring the darkness inside of you. As on the table, it appears that this Ace of Earth, this person that this reading is about, is able to look into your moon, into your mystery. And they're very like, see, I'll show you what it looks like here on the table. No, the king's just like, oh, very matter of fact about like, oh, this is going on with you. You seem very different in a way. They seem very practical to your magical. You appear so magical to them, Cancer. And they're real practical. So yeah, you're very different. And then we see a 9 of Wands. This is your relationship. It appears to have some struggle in it. And I feel like because she's looking from your position on the table, you exhausted from a very passionate struggle, wise from it too, right? You're wise from this. You're looking at this King of Pentacles, this Ace of Earth, this other person. Again, you're very wary. You're very wary. The tarot wants you to know, like, King of Earth, like, they're solid. They are what they are claiming to be when they show up here as this Ace of Earth. Queen of Wands, more fire. This could be you. You appear like this is the sexiest card in the tarot. The Queen of Wands. She's the queen of the law of attraction. She can make the world that she wants to live in. She's like the magician in that regard. She always has her little black cat with her. Okay. There's an Ace of Wands. This is what the tarot wants you to know. Let me pull one more and see what happens. And the Queen of Cups. There she is, the deeply emotionally intelligent Queen of Cups. Cancer, this is your card here. So I think you already know this and we've already uncovered this, but it's being reiterated. But this person is like very inspired by you. You're very sexy and attractive and magical to them. You're sort of striking them with fire. Yeah, that's what the tarot wants you to know. I feel like we already know that, but it's being insistent about that, so maybe I'm missing something here. Your advice. The King of Air. They identify kind of as the King of Air. You see them as more earthy and grounded. Yeah, so I think they might be deeper than you think. There's waiting, lots of waiting in this reading. This is your advice. 7 of Wands. Resistance, integrity. There's a lot of that resistance coming from you, Cancer. And a little flirty Page of Cups. Yeah, it's just that you actually asked for this. And you've been waiting for this. This is your manifestation. Now you're resisting it. And it just says, like, sure, you're the King of Air. You've been through battle and struggle, and you know how to use your truth from your heart now. But this doesn't have to be that big of a deal. It's just like a beginning. It's just an opportunity for authenticity, for a connection that's very safe and sweet. And sure, death is here. It just feels like you've come from something that has shook you. And so you're like putting out all of this resistance to what is just not, well, this person's really drawn to you, but they're also like, they're not dangerous and scary or devastating in any way. And you can just kind of lighten up. That's your overall advice here, Cancer, is just sort of lighten up. The future, we see fortune turning in your favor. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you're acting like the Queen of Air. You're like, nope, nope. They're waiting for you to stop that very patiently. And because you're quite fantastic to them, they think you're. I like you. I like how they see you. I want you, Cancer, to be with a person that sees all of your magic and power, and you're difficult to know, and that's what we're encountering. So there's your Four of Pentacles, you being very difficult to know, very controlling. There's your broken heart, Three of Swords, which is, we've seen already, the Three of Voices, very painful. And it's interesting in this one, like we can see black darkness coming out of that pain, the stormy weather. Your mind is darkening you. Your pain has darkened you, your heart. And there is a little new beginning, Page of Wands. You're told from the start of this reading that you're going to change your perspective. And the Page of Wands is you with a new perspective here, I think. Just a young, new beginning. You're holding this wand that this friend, this other person appearing in your life, associates you with the wands from the very beginning, right? The fire, sign of fire. This is you, Eight of Fire, Eight of Wands. You come into this person's life like the Knight of Wands, like the Queen of Wands. And I feel like whatever happens in your relationship with this person, what happens is that they somehow impart to you an ability to see the world in a totally new way. The Page of Wands is often somebody who is foreign, from another country. They see things from the outside. I always call it the queer card, to signify like it's the perspective from the Hangman of a person who's looking at the familiar world in a totally new way. Okay. And so that's what I see happening as a result of this encounter with this Ace of Earth, this person that had come into your life. And that's a pretty cool reading for you, Cancer. There's nothing here about this person doing anything other than helping you see things in a new way. They are a soul connection. I think, and this has happened to me, where I've met people and I knew that we were meant to connect, and it was so magical for me, and I was just in. And I feel like this other person, this Ace of Earth, that's how they feel about you. They know that they're meant to come into your life, and sometimes we need people to come shake us up out of this, and that's what this person is here to do. Is just, they love you so truly this way, that and they see you as so incredible, and you're like, no, I'm tired, I'm in resistance, I'm alone. There's all this resistance here, right? This is you. You're like, I'm gonna have to cut you out of my life. This isn't working for me. and they're just hanging out with you through that. And it helps you change. It helps you release the Four of Pentacles, heal your heartache, and see things in the new way that the Page of Wands can see things. There's a very beautiful, let me know, Cancer. I love this reading for you. Have a great day.